Speed, clean, tidy and organise with me. I am Ree from mummyof4.com. Let's move some furniture, clean, tidy and get the place sorted. We can do it together. Now, the first project we're going to have to tackle is sorting out my living room. It is not Christmas morning, but it looks like Christmas morning because the children have got toys everywhere. They've been playing with all the figures. Then once we've dealt with the lounge, we need to do Zara and Bella's bedroom. Their duvets changed to Christmas bedding and we're going to do that and tidy. But first, we're gonna have to tackle the living room. We need to pick up these toys and then do a little bit of cleaning down here before we head upstairs. So I've got the kids in on helping me. They have got all these different bags that they sort these figures into. They're all Disney figures and they've got them sorted into figures per parks. They've got a bag for Epcot figures, a bag for Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom figures, and they've kind of got them organised like that. They've brought in all the cruise ships and the castle and things. You can see all that belongs in the playroom, so we just need to make sure that all of the little figures are away, so they're not going to be stepped on, they're not going to get lost, they're all in bags. So we've got various types of bags I use to gather these figures together. I think that little bag I've got in my hand at the moment, other toys came in it, so sometimes you can repurpose bags from certain toys for other toys. The bag that I'm now putting things into is like a mesh bag that can be used for getting groceries, things like veg and stuff from the supermarket as a reusable bag, and they can also be used for the proper purpose, for laundry, for putting things in that are delicate or that need separating. But do you know what? I use them for bagging up toys so much. And then there's a blue bag you can see in Will's hand. That's like a bag of PE bags. So I'll link all these below, but just think outside the box a little bit for what can be used for storage. So certain bags are really good for dividing things up and they don't have to be used for their actual purpose. There's another type of bag, look, that's technically a toiletry bag, and I've decanted a much larger like a board game, it came in a massive box, into that so that it can be sorted. So what the children want to do now is they want to keep the figures down low so they can reach them. So we're moving this box full of board games and things that they don't use as much into another box to go in a higher up place. So all of these figures, so all of these are bags or figures. Some of them, as I say, that looks like a PE bag, the orange one, but they were all bought as, you know, PE bags and mesh bags and things, and then used for these purposes. It's just actually quite often a really efficient way of storing things rather than keeping things in their original packaging. So I am using my foot to push that in because it's a bit full and struggling to fit into the calyx, but oh yeah, we got it in there eventually. Now what I tend to do at Christmas time is empty the front 4 boxes for Christmas Day or for Christmas Eve. And that way the children have a box each on Christmas morning to put anything that Santa may bring them directly into the box. They really like this because their stuff doesn't all get mixed up. It's like, whose present is that? Who's got my so-and-so? They have a box each, and then as they open things, they pop them in their boxes, and then they know that their things are their things, and there's no confusion over who's got what, who opened what, who's taken whose toy, and they have a box each, and it makes our living room, which isn't massive, it's not the smallest room in the house, but it's not a massive room, it makes it more manageable on Christmas morning because we can take some of the stuff off the floor and put them into the children's boxes. Wow, that's not really fitting, is it? Oh, it's going to be a shove it in kind of one. Now this is very much like a power hour, not a deep sort clean for the living room. So for the living room we just need to get the stuff put away. So they decided that these higher up boxes, because I don't let the girls bring down boxes that are taller than them because I don't want things pulling on their head. So William can access those boxes, but I ask the girls to just only access the lower down boxes, and anything that is higher up than they are to ask someone taller to help them with it. So that's why they wanted all the figures in the lower down boxes. Now we probably need to go through those and slim them down a little bit because they're only just fitting, weren't they? But never mind, that's a job for another day. Anyway, this castle needs to go back into the playroom along with all these other little toys that they brought in. So we're going to carry this. This was a 50th anniversary castle. Let me see, they had this Christmas, it must have been Christmas 2021, just before we went to Walt Disney World in 2022. And that belongs up there in the playroom out of the way. Now part of me thinks, oh, I should have cleaned that shelf before I put the toys back, but this is not a whole house clean with me today. I don't have time for that. It's just to tidy up the living room so that we can use it again as a family, and then also get on with changing the children's beds. So William's going to do his own because he's old enough to do that. The girls need a bit of help. They also need a bit of help with their rooms. So we're just going to put away these blankets. Now, blankets as a family, let me know if you're the same. We love blankets for snuggling up in the evenings, but the children also play so many games with them. We have quite a lot of these fleece blankets, plenty on rotation so that they can go in the wash, and then, you know, they don't feel like they haven't got them. And we like to keep them. They've got some in the living room, some in the playroom, and they're constantly in use. So now we're gonna give a little spray and wipe. This is the Method. It's the multi-surface cleaner. I really, really like it. I do need to buy some more of it. Apparently I'm running low on this particular bottle. I've got some more upstairs, but I am running low on this particular bottle. So I don't know about you, our house gets so dusty. So I'm just giving this little surface a wipe, and I can't tell you how often I wipe this and then how quickly the dust builds back up. Look at that. It's like some of the dust. I just moved the thing and there was dust stuck underneath. So I've put the camera down now so I can do it with two hands, but it's a two-handed job and the dust is constant. Oh, wiping the remotes. I've managed to turn on the TV, turn that off. We're not doing that now. So yeah, just let me know if your house is super dusty too. I think I've said this in other speed clean videos, but my house, it just feels so dusty. It's like, where does this tumbleweed dust come from? I clean quite frequently. Not as frequently as I feel like I should clean, because clearly if I cleaned more then I wouldn't feel like there was as much dust. But never mind. I think cleaning something that we all beat ourselves up about. I could just clean all day every day and I still feel like there'd be some dust, and then obviously I'd not have time to do anything else like work or look after my children. So I don't know, I think it's one of those things, talking to myself as much as you right now, that we perhaps beat ourselves up about a little bit less. So vacuuming the rug, which hopefully the children picked up all the tiny little bits, otherwise they're going to be sucked up into the vacuum cleaner now. That's the thing with having like a furry rug, things do disappear into it. So actually I tend to encourage the children, if they are playing with tiny little things, to play on the hard floor, not the fluffy rug, so they don't get all things lost. So we've got the bedding, the Christmas bedding that I got down with all the Christmas decorations, but I feel like just changing the bed is just not going to cut it. This room, it needs a good old tidy. And you know what I'm going to do? We're going to move the bed around, because I'm thinking Bella needs a bigger bed. Now, looking at that bed, it does not look big enough for Bella. But Bella is shorter than I am, and if I lie on that bed, I can lie with my legs flat and I fit in that bed. So proportionately, it doesn't look, from when you're seeing it now, it doesn't look big enough for her, but I promise you it is. However, I feel like she now needs a full-sized single bed. So we're going to try moving this bed round to the position where I could fit a full-size single bed, to check that she likes the way round that the room is. And we're going to take the opportunity while I move the furniture to clean underneath the bed, because, you know, dust. So all of this stuff needs moving. The other thing is that little table that she's got. She likes to have a lot of things next to her bed when she sleeps, you know, as a lot of us do. She likes to have a lip balm and a hand cream and a book and all those things. So I'm thinking I do need to get a bedside table, like a bedside set of drawers that she can put all those things into, rather than having clutter on top of the table, because I'm a big believer in clutter attracts clutter. So the more stuff you put out, the more stuff on a surface, the more likely people are to add stuff to the stuff. Does that make sense? If it's a clear surface, you're unlikely to think, I'll just plonk something on it, because it's really obvious and evident that you've plonked something there and it's out of place. Whereas if, as you can see on Bella's dressing table at the moment, and her shelves for that matter, if there's a lot of stuff kind of plonked on there and it doesn't look very uniformed, then you're likely to add things to it and not even notice. So that's the room mostly emptied, but into my room. So not ideal, But never mind. Sometimes you need to empty a room in order to clean a room. This is not how we always do things. Sometimes it's just enough time to straighten some cushions and vacuum the middle of the floor and make things look a little bit tidy. By the way, I always forget there's this hook thing for the vacuum cleaner lead, and then I'm tripping over the lead, and then I'm like, why don't I just use the hook thing, and then I won't be tripping over it. See, easier. So sometimes, most days in fact, I do make it look clean kind of cleaning. So just the basics of straightening cushions and wiping obvious surfaces and not really pulling out beds and things. But I feel today like this room's got to the stage where it needs this turnaround. And like I said, I'm thinking about swapping her bed for a full-sized single bed. Now, this bed, it's an IKEA bed, and it's like an IKEA Grow With Me. I can't remember what it's called. Someone put in the comments what this is called. They do them in various colours. Zara's got one too. And it extends out to a full length, and Zara's is extended to a full length because she's got a bit more space in her room, because originally when we moved, Zara was the littlest and the big ones didn't want her in their rooms in case she touched their Lego and broke it. But they were allowed to go in her room because she was the littlest and she liked having her siblings in her room. So I said, right, well, Zara can have the bigger room then, and you can put the shared toys in Zara's room because you don't want her in your rooms, and she doesn't mind you going in her room. And they all agreed that was fine. So that's why Zara ended up with a bigger room. I actually asked them recently, girls, do you want to swap bedrooms? And both of them were like, no, I do not want to swap bedrooms. Anyway, we vacuumed the little dents out of the carpet. We're now going to just wipe around this bed frame. The bed, that's what we were talking about. So the bed, it does extend out, but in the position it's currently in, it won't fit. Now, in the position we're going to move it to, it won't fit at the fully extended side, the fully extended size rather, either, because it's quite a chunky bed frame. If you can see, it's got quite a lot of chunk on the headboard and chunk on the footboard. So extending it out to the full length, you can see where it extends. There's like a little knobbly bit and it extends out. So this particular bed won't extend to a full length, but if I get a normal bed without a footboard on it, then it will almost touch the mirrors, but we'll still be able to open the mirror doors because they're sliding doors, and she'll be able to access the boxes at the bottom still. So that's the plan. I'm having a look for that kind of bed. So if anyone has got any ideas of which kind of bed might fit in that gap, would look good. She really likes pink. That's her main thing. Like, please don't have something pink. I'm all ears. Anyway, so we're now going around the edges with the vacuum cleaner with all the dust. Under Bella's desk is often stuffed full of stuff, so I've pulled all that out, really getting the opportunity to clean it properly and to get out all the dents, because whenever you move furniture you get these massive dents, don't you? You get the massive dents in the carpet, and just sucking them out with a hoover tends to flatten them out just that little bit. So it's quite satisfying actually. Does anyone like it when you've had a room switch around? It feels fresh and lovely. And I've got to say, as much as my children are not massive fans of change, if I talk to them about doing a room refresh and a switch around, that is something they do enjoy. They really love it when their rooms are really tidy and clean. They really, really appreciate that. They don't enjoy cleaning them. They don't enjoy keeping them clean, but they really appreciate a really fresh, like a lovely feeling room, which is, you know, it's really nice. And I've got to say, once we've done a big refresh, they are better at keeping their rooms tidy for a period of time. I think ultimately it is easier to keep a clean room clean. So these are the Christmas beddings, by the way. The two types of Christmas bedding that the girls have. Bella wants the one with the ballet dancers on it this time. I always store the matching duvet cover inside the pillowcase because then they're kept together, and it's just a really easy way to know where all the bits are to go with whatever bedding set. And I always pop up or button up the duvet covers before I put them in the wash. Otherwise you find like all the pillows and all the pillowcases and things get stuck inside the duvet covers, and it's just a big old faff. So those few extra seconds to button or pop her up the duvet covers are well worth it. They make life easier in the long run. So as you can see, if you can imagine a full length bed there, I'm thinking I fancy an ottoman bed because That way we could utilize the space for storage underneath, fill it full of just off-season things or the bedding or whatever, and then the box that I had in Bella's wardrobe for her bedding could be used for toys, for example. So that's my plan, that's what I'm thinking. And if it didn't have a footboard, it would just feel a little bit more grown up. There'd be that extra extended mattress space. That's my thought. My other thought was to have a high bed in here, but my husband's not convinced it's a good idea. I just don't know what to do. I still like being able to sit and read with Bella and kiss her goodnight. She's still only 8. So if at all possible, I think maybe a lower bed's probably the answer. So I've just given that little table a wipe over, but I think ultimately, I think I discussed this, the table needs to go, and instead we need to go for a little bedside like set of drawers. Now originally I bought a set of 2 drawers that ended up in my room that's got all the hair things in it, and originally that was for Bella's room, but there was no space for it and she didn't need it, and now I just need to get another one of those from IKEA probably and replace the table and chairs with that. But ultimately the room's looking lovely and clear, but of course we haven't put all the toys and the teddies in. And yeah, do my children have a lot of teddies on their beds? They do, but that's what they like. So if that's what makes them happy while they're little. Bella's a little more interested in curating which teddies make it to her bed, and Zara's a bit more like, as you'll see when we get to her room, they all need to live there. Okay, so let's get Bella's bedding on to wash while we continue to clean, and then the washing machine is working while I am working. So we've got a washing pod in, we've got the sprinkly things, I can never remember the name of the scent boosters. The scent boosters are in, let's get this stuff in, and oh god grief, let's tackle Zara's room. As you can see, she's got a lot of teddies on her bed, and the teddies, originally they start off as like a nicely curated amount of teddies, and then she's like, oh, that's just, they multiply somehow. I don't know where they all come from. They multiply. So we're going to chuck all the teddies on the floor so we can actually change the bed. And Zars, do you need all these teddies on your bed? Yes, Mummy, they make me happy. Well, then where's the harm? Where is the harm? It's a bit more faff to make the bed in the mornings, but if that's what she wants, then, you know, she's 6. She's only little once. So we're going to strip the bed, take all the stuff off this little table. Zara wanted a little switch around in her room because Bella had a switch around in her room. So we're going to move the table down to the end of her bed, and she wants it to be like a desk so she can do colouring in her room. So I'm sure we can manage that. But first we've got to empty it all and wipe it all. And let's just get back to having some clear surfaces, shall we? Because, oh good grief, having clear surfaces makes it easier to keep things clean and tidy and to clean them. So let's wipe down this table, and I just use these microfiber cloths. Years and years and years and years ago I used to just use kitchen roll because I thought, oh that's like cleaner than having manky cloths lying around. And then I bought these microfiber cloths and I thought, well, if I just wash them on hot, I was doing cloth nappies at the time, so I thought, well, we'll just you know, use a load of these cloths, we'll wash them and sanitize them the same way we would nappies, and then, you know, it's the same, isn't it? It's the same, and it's better for the environment, and you just don't run out of anything. So I've had these same microfiber cloths, for most of them, for so many years. They're well worth the investment. Get a pack of 10, a pack of 20. I will link, I've got a blog post and a video about my favourite reusable cleaning products and my favourite consumable cleaning products. And I don't think many of those have changed since I last made that video, so I will link those. They will be in the blog post below. There's always a blog post to go with my videos, so if you're interested in anything that I'm talking about, whittering on about in the videos, then generally they will be in that blog post that I will link down below. But the microfiber cloth that I use, then I will link those, and you know, they've lasted me such a long time. It's a really good investment because you can just use them all the time. Just wash them. Make sure you don't use any fabric softener when you're washing towels and microfiber cloths, things like that, because it stops them being so absorbent. But other than that, just give them like a nice hot wash. You can add some sanitizer, some laundry sanitizer if you wish, but if you're just washing them like nice and hot, on a nice, you know, not a super short wash, a nice long wash with decent rinse, then that's, you know, a good way to keep them nice and hygienic. So the girls have both got the same bedding. So they've both got a set of this one you can see on Zara's bed, and they've both got a set of the ballerinas, so I can alternate them over the Christmas season, one on one in the wash. But Zara chose this, they're kind of like little kids ice skating and snowmen and things. She wanted this one and Bella wanted the ballerinas, and then on the next bed change then they'll swap over because there's another clean set of the other things. So Zara's now sort of arranging her teddies neatly and her dolls. I've said, Zaz, we're gonna have to put some of them in the beanbag. Now the beanbag has no beans in it, it just has teddies, so it's not as comfy as a normal beanbag. However, it's such a good way to store excess teddies because it gives them somewhere to sit. Not the comfiest, it's not as comfy as beans, but it's a really great way to store teddies. So you can buy beanbags without the beans. I think previously we've also emptied beans out of beanbags, which is very messy, but I can highly, highly recommend it as a good storage method for kids' bedrooms. Zara's room is still looking challenging. I really need to do a massive deep declutter on all of the children's bedrooms. I need to pull out everything in all the boxes, everything in all the drawers, and put everything back neatly in an organised way. I know there are toys that can probably be donated to the school that they no longer use. I know there are clothes that they've grown out of that can be donated, but it's such a big project to take on, and it's not a project for today, it's a project for another day. Today is all about trying to get the girls' rooms looking presentable, making them so that they can hopefully keep them a bit cleaner and tidy themselves. William, in the meantime, while we're doing this, has changed his bed. He's such a good boy, but he's 11 now, so he's more than capable of just doing that while I get on with doing bits of the girls. So the girls are helping me, but they're not quite there to be able to just do it themselves. So just wiping over the top of this, which Zara calls her dressing table. It's kind of the top of her chest of drawers, which incidentally my little sister, who is 17 months younger than me, when she was little, used to call it chestnut drawers, so that's really cute. Anyway, it's a chest of drawers. That top of that's been wiped. I think I've already wiped this, but I'm wiping it again because I wasn't sure I did a very good job, and quite frankly, where's the harm in double wiping it? I think I'd just forgotten, to be honest, I'd already done it. Wiping over the chairs again, and then they can be moved to the new location so Zara can feel like her room has had a refresh too. The other thing I need to do, I need to pull off all the books off the bookshelf and just stack them all neatly, because books start all neat, and then as they get read and just shoved back, they're not put back properly, and it goes all messy, doesn't it? So vacuuming the carpet. Vacuuming upstairs can often be a real challenge with children because there's often toys all over the floor, but today we've managed to pick most of them up. So there you go, Zara's going to use that as her desk for her drawing. Now we just need to pull out all of the other little bits on the floor, give us a vacuum. There are some slippers and things which Zara has sort of deposited under the chest of drawers, but do you know what, we're just going to leave those there for now. It's not the end of the world, is it? She's going to use that little chair as a bedside table because she still wants somewhere to put her tissues and her drink. Maybe she needs a little bedside drawers as well. I don't know. Not sure. Does she need one as well? She doesn't need as many things at the side of her bed as Bella, but it perhaps would be neater than that little chair. She's also got the castles, so she's also got a castle corner. They're kind of shared castles, but Zara has them in her room. And I'm running out of time now, but while I've got the vacuum cleaner out, my bedroom's in desperate need of a vacuum because this is where we ended up dumping all the Christmas decorations and stuff, and there's just sort of like bits of glitter and things all over the floor. So we bring down all the Christmas decorations, we dumped them all in my room, we then decorated the house, and then there's all the boxes and things that needed to go back upstairs. And I'm going to be honest with you, those boxes sat there for about a week because after we decorated for Christmas I was really under the weather and I just didn't have the energy to move them, and then I got to the stage where I was just like, I can't look at these boxes in my bedroom anymore, and managed to get them up the attic. They haven't had a chance to vacuum since doing that, so pushing the vacuum around now while it is out. Anyway, and I'm really running out of time, so let's just put the little beanbag back. Zara's room is not looking perfect by any stretch, but it's looking so much better. And you know what? I think she's happy. She's happy. She's got her Christmas stuff and it feels clean and clear. Bella's happy too. Thanks so much for cleaning with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe to all those YouTubey things, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye guys.